This logo called for Mickey Mouse's head next to the word play, but admittedly, it kind of looks like the logo for a different kind of service. So, what's going on is you guys know that Disney's coming out with their own streaming service. I honestly thought they were just going to turn Disney Now, which is like Disney's current streaming app where they put a lot of their TV shows on, into Disney streaming service, but this sounds like it's going to be its own new things. But anyway, Variety had this article out talking about how the industry is moving into streaming services, and they mentioned Disney quite a bit, and the article detailed some new developments of Disney's upcoming streaming service. Now, Disney CEO Bob Iger said that the streaming service is, quote, the biggest priority of the company during calendar year 2019, which, okay, I mean, Jesus. I know there's people out there that are going to be like, why wouldn't it be? But it's just like, damn, they're like taking this more seriously than I thought. I guess because I kind of associate the streaming service more as a vehicle for Disney to deliver their movies and TV shows. I guess I associate Disney's super big developments with what movies they're going to come out with in 2019 and so forth. But anyway, Iger said, okay, the streaming service is the biggest priority of the company in calendar year 2019. And he also said that the service will cost less than Netflix's $8 to $14 fee, which honestly thinking, I know there's a lot of people that say, well, it's because Disney's streaming service, it's not going to have as much content as like Netflix and Hulu, because Netflix, Hulu, and I'll even throw in Amazon on Prime Video, because they have content from multiple studios, not just from Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon. But hey, cheaper price to get the streaming service, I honestly welcome it. If it means that I could watch like Star Wars Episode 9, I know there's people out there that are probably dreading it, but I still want to see it. Or like the latest episode of Star vs. The Force of Evil, or if I want to rewatch Coco again and cry my eyes out, then I could do so at a really good price. And the thing is, a lot of people are tossing around this name, and Iger, in the Variety article, they quoted him as referring to the streaming service as and I quote, a Disney Play, which people are tossing around the name. Oh, it's going to be called Disney Play. I wouldn't be surprised if Iger is just saying that as like his own little placeholder name, like not even as like a company-wide thing. Like maybe when Variety was interviewing him, he said, well, there's Google Play, and now we're going to have our own Disney Play. Like, he didn't mean it as he didn't even mean it as a temporary name. He just, kind of said it as a way of saying Disney streaming service. So I don't really know if they're going to call it that, because with a name like Disney Play, it obviously sounds a lot like Google Play, and I don't know if Disney wants to be that blunt. Like, oh yeah, we're making our own Google Play. This is what our streaming service is. And so in terms of content, the Disney streaming service, I'm just gonna call for this video the Disney streaming service, because I don't want to make it sound like Disney Play is the official name. But the service, some of the productions in development for the service include new episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, a live-action Star Wars show from Iron Man director Jon Favreau, and shows based on High School Musical and Monsters, Inc., which Monsters, Inc., admittedly, is not one of my favorite Pixar movies, but I still thought the first one was fun. I saw bits and pieces of Monsters U, and I just kind of thought it was okay, but I am interested in seeing what they can do with a Monsters, Inc. show. And as for High School Musical, I kind of just want to know what it's about, just out of mere curiosity, because as a kid, I remember my sister had us watch High School Musical 1 and 2 when they came out on DVD, and even as a kid, I thought they were really corny. But I will admit, after High School Musical 3 came out, I'm just like, when are they going to make a High School Musical 4? Like, yes, I know there was that Sharpay movie, but I heard rumblings that, it's going to be about college, and then even just saying that out loud, I realized that must have been a troll. But anyway, okay, they're making a High School Musical TV show and a Monsters Inc. show. Probably the two shows I would be most interested in, because even though I like Star Wars, I'm a very casual kind of Star Wars fan. But hopefully the streaming service will also include a lot of Disney XD shows like DuckTales and Star Wars The Force of Evil. So I should also mention here that in terms of adult-oriented content, like much of Fox's properties, or I shouldn't say much of, but with a lot of Fox's properties that Disney is more than likely going to acquire through their buyout of Fox's assets, and of course Disney has their own kind of movies meant for adults, with how they used to own divisions like Hollywood Pictures and Miramax. I don't know about Miramax, but I know they still own the Touchstone Pictures banner. They're probably all these like Touchstone and Fox movies are probably going to be put on Hulu, because as I said before, Disney has, through this buyout, they would get majority ownership of Hulu. And in an LA Times article, Iger even said, hey, we're going to use Hulu for the adult-oriented content. So there's that. So unfortunately, I guess you could say I sounded more upset in one of my previous Disney Fox videos, but I guess you could say, oh great, Hulu's now going to be the dumping ground. But that's just kind of Disney in a nutshell. Not saying it's bad, but they're aware their target market is primarily kids and families. So that's what's up. So as a service, I think the Disney streaming service is a cool idea. I know some people are going to say typical corporate Disney, but it's just the kind of thing where when you hear it's announced, deep down it was going to happen. As Disney's one of the biggest companies out there and definitely one of the most prominent, it just seemed inevitable. Well, or even if you didn't think it was inevitable, it just made sense. Yeah, they want more. They don't just want to give away their content to Netflix, Hulu, or iTunes. They want to distribute it on their own because they would keep most of the profits. I know I read in the Variety article that the article said that Disney would be missing out on $300 million in the annual revenue that they get from Netflix for pay TV rights of their theatrical movies. But I wouldn't be surprised if, although I shouldn't say surprised, but I'm pretty sure Iger, Alan Horn, and the rest of Disney execs are like, yeah, we know we're going to take a loss, but in the end, it'll be worth it. Like, it's one of those business moves where they may be losing money, but they think down the line, and they'll get a lot more out of creating their own streaming service than if Disney just gave everything over to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, or iTunes. So, but I think as a service, I think it'll be pretty cool. Like, just the idea of a service where you get access to Disney's entire catalog as well as films from the companies they own. You know how like they also own Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and of course they would have, just imagine you would be able to get all their movies from Snow White all the way down to like Lion King, Aladdin, their more recent movies like Zootopia, which I'm kind of meh on, or movies like Moana, and dare I say Frozen. I don't care what anybody says without, Frozen's overhyped. I still really like the first Frozen film. And you would also be able to get the Pixar movies like the Toy Stories, Monsters Inc., Up, Coco, so many more I could name, Finding Nemo. You would also be able to get the Marvel movies, the Star Wars movies, which I know there's a lot of people that are very sour with a lot of the recent Star Wars movies, particularly The Last Jedi, but you get it. Even though, yeah, it's just basically, you're just getting movies and TV from one studio. It's freaking Disney. It's a really wide catalog. Yes, you may not, the Disney streaming service may not be the only streaming service you subscribe to, but it is still a really vast catalog when you consider Disney's entire history, if you will. My main concern isn't really with Disney. My biggest concern is more, what if this Disney streaming service becomes a success and it leads into this kind of new age of streaming services where instead of going to platforms like Netflix or Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play or Hulu, which, should I really include Hulu? Well, majority ownership doesn't mean they're just going to turn Hulu into the Disney and Fox service. But anyway, I'm kind of thinking, are they going to go from having streaming services that have content from all companies to just, we're going to see a Disney streaming service, and then we're going to see a Universal streaming service, and then a Paramount streaming service, and a Warner Brothers streaming service. Like, you get what I mean? Because much like in the video game industry where people are kind of panicking over, because like in the video game industry, if you play video games on the PC, you usually get games through the Steam online store. But, there's other platforms out there that people think want a piece of that pie. Like EA has Origin, Ubisoft has Uplay, which I heard Uplay is god-awful. But I guess my concerns are kind of similar to the gaming industries, where is every studio just going to come out with their own streaming service because they want that Netflix money? So in the case of like my film professor, and like she's a really big Martin Scorsese fan, is she going to have to subscribe to a Universal, Warner, and Sony service if she wants to watch or show her classes Casino, Goodfellas, and Taxi Driver, or respectively? Like, if the movie industry goes down that route, and it's fair to say that the studios aren't going to be concerned with, but what if it becomes fragmented? It's going to be more about, hey, we want more of that streaming service money too. Come on, let's go do it. And they're not really going to give a hoot. I honestly think that's a real concern. Maybe some studios, especially if they start seeing things like, let's say, if Warner Brothers comes out for service and people panic, oh no, Warner Brothers is starting their own service, now everybody's going to do it, then maybe we'll see something like, let's say, a Universal is like, hey, we're not going to do a streaming service. We know you like having all your favorite movies and TV in one place, so we're going to stay with Netflix, or we're going to stay with Hulu. We're going to stay with everybody. We're not going to start our own streaming service anytime soon. You can trust us, like as a PR move, if you will. Maybe they will do that. But I just think, as of right now, I'm not really sure if we're going to see Universal or Warner Brothers come out with their own streaming service. I wouldn't be surprised if their shareholders are just sitting there, looking at Disney for a microscope and saying, let's see how Disney's streaming service, this is really, as far as I know, the first time a major studio is going it alone. Let's see how they do, so that if they succeed, we'll start something, or we'll at least start thinking about it in one way or another. And I think in that sense, I think it's going to get really messy, because, as I said, I think as far as Disney goes, because they have such a treasure trove, like a treasure chest of content, through, its really, really long history. I mean, God, 2018, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, came out in like 37, and here we are like 81 years later. Not saying Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is old. Like, I would still probably enjoy it if I watched it today. I'm just saying that for Disney, this streaming service, especially since Iger is saying that they're at least aiming for it to be cheaper than Netflix, I'm all for this idea. I'm just concerned what's going to happen if the rest of the industry is like, let's start a Disney movie. What to say? Oh, no, nothing. So, but please let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Like, in two ways. Are you excited for a Disney streaming service? And are you concerned if other studios are going to go down this route of, let's start our own streaming service so we can get this? Because why do we have to give all of our stuff over to all our multiple streaming partners? We could do it ourselves. We'll keep the money if we do it ourselves. Like, are you concerned about that? Please let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I really enjoy reading your guys' comments, because I know comment sections in general get a bad rap of, it's just a bunch of kids who say really nasty shit. But I really enjoy reading your guys' comments, especially when you have, a lot to say, whether you agree with me or not. So please let me know your thoughts. And this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. And by the way, before I actually wrap up here, I just wanted to say, since I've been covering Butch Hartman a lot in my videos lately, because I've gotten a couple comments of people saying, you're just prejudging Butch Hartman before his Access streaming service comes out. Well, the Variety article I got much of the information of this video from said that Disney, AT&T, and others will have to invest billions of dollars in high-quality content if they're going to push forward with streaming services. So, note what I said here, billions of dollars. I'm just saying here, I mean, I know Butch, wanted to raise $250,000 just to get started, and he got $268,134. But I'm just saying, like, if he wants to make a streaming service that he thinks it's going to be the best for families, his competition is going to be putting in or I shouldn't say way more money, but a lot of money, like probably more than Butch thinks he needs. Take that into consideration. So this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and I will see you guys later. Hey guys, be sure to like this Blood Moon Bobby video if you enjoyed it. Please share this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. Be sure to ring the notification bell to be notified about my latest upload. Follow me on my social media pages at Blood Moon Bobby to find out about what I'll be covering next and for more of my opinions. Thanks for watching.